The first thing we want to do when we're preventing the bull rush is to minimize our target, really, which is our chest. Our chest has to be minimal exposure. We want to take that away from the defender, and we're going to do that by putting our hands in what we call guard. We want to roll our shoulders forward, our thumbs are up, our hands are relaxed, our elbows are tight, and we want to basically do this to keep that surface area, which is very vulnerable for us in the bull rush, away from the defender. A lot of guys are out here with their hands wide, and that's what's getting them, making them subject to victimhood on the bull rush. From the side view, we want to have our elbows just off our torso a few inches, nice and relaxed. And from the rear view, you shouldn't be able to see my elbows. So right now, you're going to see Colin's going to show where he can stick his hands potentially on me in guard. See, he's high. We're fine with that, because if he's high, we can come up underneath, and then we will have leverage now. So again, we want to keep our hands tight in guard versus getting out wide, because that's when we're asking to get run down the middle. The next move we're going to show is the hop, and the hop is a move that everyone claims to know, but very few guys execute properly, and it's a staple for every good offensive lineman to have in his repertoire to deal with the bull rush. The way the hop works, and it's often mistaken as kind of what, quote, tent staking. Colin's going to push on me. Usually I'll miss with my hands. I don't want to end up leaning like this, because what happens if he disconnects pressure or pulls, I'll fall forward on my face, which is something we can't afford to do. So the way the hop actually is designed to work is it's to raise and elevate the center of gravity of the defender to minimize or mitigate the pressure he's putting on us. So usually when guys get bull rushed, it's either they're wide with their hands or they miss. So I'm going to start here in this position with my hands wide. Colin's just going to push on me a little bit of pressure. I'm going to hop. As I hop, I'm refitting both hands, 1, 2. We're going to take you through the sequence and how this actually is effective. So I'm going to show you from lateral view here how I'm going to hop back. We want to do incremental hops, probably not too big. We don't want to go too far, but we're trying to keep our feet as low to the ground as possible. We want to keep our feet wide. Our toes are pointed out at approximately 45 degrees each. And the reason for that is because we want to get our hips to full extension, and that's really where the power is drawn from. Our hips are elevating the defender in conjunction with our arms when we refit the hands. So as we come down, as I'm getting pressure and pushed, I'm actually going to hop back, but as I hop back, I'm going to take about a foot or less, approximately maybe a foot, that I'm going to hop back, and I'm going to use the ground to lift the defender up so he stops pressuring me back into the pocket. So as I do so, my hips will actually come to full extension simultaneously with the contact my feet make on the ground. So here's kind of how it would look when I'm executing the hop. So you can notice my hips stay forward. So we achieve this position we call arc strength. That's our position of power. That's how we're going to generate that vertical lift to stop the defender's pressure. Big critical point here when executing the hop, make sure you're not disengaging both hands at the same time, because if I try to hop back and take them both off, it may be too late. It might get run over. So we want to do it one at a time. So we call this a 1, 2. So I got hands here, so I'm going to hop back, push. So see, I'm lifted him up. Now you notice Colin's lifted up in the air. I'm in the arc strength position. You may have to take a few incremental hops again to get the guy stopped, but the critical piece is that your hips are through. If he feels pressure from me, he may just very well try to pull me, so I have to bring my hips with me at all times. So once I initiate the hop, Colin's going to give me a little tug, so he's going to push me back, hop. I bring my hips with me. So I'm in an excellent position to finish. The defender's coming on a horizontal plane, so he's leaning on me. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take him from horizontal to vertical, and I'm going to basically lift him up. I'm giving him less opportunity because we're taking some of his weight off of his feet. So you'll notice here as I hop on with Colin, he's pushing. So he's been lifted now. And it looks like a compromised position for me, but in actuality, it's very powerful. With that said, we want to make sure the hop is done systematically. We don't want to lose any pressure here. We want to do it tight. So when you start feeling pressure, you have to initiate your hop instantaneously. Another really important coaching point on the hop is you want to end up getting square with the defender and taking him on his plane. So in other words, if I'm a left tackle here and I've got a stagger in my stance and I'm kicking and my defender's coming for the hop, I can't necessarily hop with that stagger intact. I have to square up to him. So I'm here. You see how I've squared up to his pressure? I don't want to stay turned, and I don't want to be so staggered that I can't actually execute that forward hip extension, which is required to execute this technique.